NFL news and notes around training camp live right here on this Wednesday on the early line on SportsGrid, the road to kickoff. Maybe Donnie and I get a little bit of shine as we break down this segment. Robert Saleh meeting with the media yesterday, of course, the head coach of the New York Jets, saying that Aaron Rodgers, at the age of 40 years old and recovering from the torn Achilles last year, is unlikely to play in this preseason. All right.
Yeah, well, let's get it started here at the foundational point here, right? Like Aaron Rodgers not playing, is it a really big deal for me? But you just saw a class action lawsuit come through and won by the lawyers for the NFL game or the season ticket. Not the ticket, what's good? NFL Sunday ticket, excuse me, right? Getting money back. Yeah, I was a season ticket holder for 15 years for the Philadelphia Eagles. Here's what I'm getting into it here. Aaron Rodgers is not going to play in the preseason. Why do you pay full price for that? Like when nobody plays, why do you pay full price for 2 to 4 home games in the preseason, which is absolutely outrageous? So I look at Aaron Rodgers not playing. I don't care. I don't have season tickets anymore. And if a Jets fan doesn't have season tickets, they shouldn't care either. But why should we care about preseason and pay those fees that we pay on the season tickets? Because quite frankly, let's just say if you're a Jets fan and your one ticket costs $200 per game, you know what's going to take place? When you play the Bills at MetLife Stadium, it's $200. But you also have that same $200 fee in the preseason where nobody's going to pay. So how about that, Aaron Rodgers? Let's sue Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets and the NFL and get that money back from the preseason, because apparently it doesn't matter to them. Why are we paying full prices anyway for those games, Ben? How about that slam?
I had no idea where that was going. Clearly, you were thinking about what you wanted to say when I stopped a little bit quick right there as I was reading the tweet. All right, Donnie made his point about preseason play and how we feel about it. Of course, this week, the New York Jets putting on pads for the first time. There was the viral social media clip of Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson getting into it. They're just trying to iron things out, it would seem, for the Jets during this offseason. It's not like Aaron Rodgers needs to prove anything during preseason, and you want to keep the guy as healthy as possible. I will say this, though, Donnie. The Jets were, of course, the feature of Hard Knocks last year. How could they not have been the storyline that was Aaron Rodgers playing for a new team for the first time in his 19-year NFL career? And the thing that was bemoaned from a football perspective, not a dramatic perspective, but a football perspective, was the Jets' offensive line during training camp, during joint practices, during preseason games. They draft Olu Fashanu out of Penn State. He will hope to help that offensive line. But that's a huge thing to monitor for the New York Jets throughout their preseason games, regardless of who is under center.
Yeah, and I don't know, I don't think he needs to get snaps, but there is something about having camaraderie and getting some things worked out in a game perspective. Now, you are going to have joint practices. You could do some of those things, but nothing beats game day where you're going through that entire routine. And it's not as if they're going to start, as I always like to say, against the Arizona Cardinals at home, like, hey, soft landing spot, let's get it together. You go right into the fire on the road, game number 1 at San Francisco, where you know that front seven is going to be out for blood. I would like to see maybe a quarter of work between Aaron Rodgers and the offensive line. He doesn't have to throw the football like, hey, I'm not going to take a 5 or 7 step drop. You don't have to do that. Quick slants out there, get the protections correct, get used to it here, because you can't say this. Well, Aaron Rodgers got hurt week 14 last year. Aaron Rodgers got hurt within the first 3 plays of the season. So good luck again this year when Aaron Rodgers is out there for those first 3 plays and Mr. Bosa and company are collapsing that pocket right away. Like, oh, maybe we should have had a little bit more practice on game day.
I mean, when you think about it, right, for Aaron Rodgers, Monday Night Football game to open up the season, it has to be a harrowing experience. 5.5-point spread in favor of the 49ers in Santa Clara on that opening Monday night, week number 1. How about the quarterback situation in Denver? Sean Payton meeting with the media yesterday, pretty much saying that all 3 quarterbacks in the QB room, the rookie Bo Nix out of Oregon, the 12th overall draft pick, Jarrett Stidham, a veteran backup, and Zach Wilson, now in the Mile High City, have been taking various reps with the ones and the starters at different points throughout training camp. Payton finishing with this, quote, "No news to announce there. I know you're looking for it." Donnie, when all is said and done, who's that week 1 starting quarterback for Denver?
If you stink and you draft a quarterback in the first round, he's got to be the guy that typically gets under center in week one. Now, there are extreme circumstances, like we talk about Drake May in New England, which I don't think it's right because they might open up the season 0-7. You don't want to do that to a rookie.
Right.
But I just figure like where Denver is at this point, just let Bo Nix go out there and get after it. And it's not one of those scenarios like, hey, you know what? He only started 11 college football games. He's real green. Bo Nix has played like 16 lifetimes in college football and had a lot of success. Let him spin out there. What have you got to lose, Sean Payton?
It's going to be Bo Nix. I actually feel pretty comfortable with saying that. We have talked a lot about this, DRS. There are a couple of quarterback room markets that you can bet. Not every one features a rookie. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, for sure. 100% going to be the week one starters in Chicago and Washington, respectively. I would say Bo Nix around a 98.5%, 99% chance. In fact, just follow the odds. 3 rookie quarterbacks of the 6 that were taken in the top 12 of the 2024 NFL draft have a season-long passing yards prop, including Bo Nix. And it's Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams who are the other 2. And I would just say this. Sean Payton, known as an offensive mastermind, 28-50 and a hook. If Bo Nix is going to start from week number 1 and play something like 15, 16, 17 games this year, even though the Broncos have just a measly win total of 5.5, Bo Nix is going over that number of 28-50 and a half.
Oh, he should, of course. If he's 17 games, you expect them not to be a great football team, which means more throwing in the fourth quarter. And also, you want to put your quarterback in spots where you can actually get game film together to teach him lessons, which means, hey, look, even though we're down 14 points late in this fourth quarter, we're not handing the football to get out of here. We're actually going to go try to drive down and score and get a little bit more mileage on your arm. I always love that when you say it, because the question is going to be, it's not like, hey, if he starts game number 1 and plays 17 weeks, is he going to cover 28-50? He absolutely is going to do that. You're just trying to guess, right, where his season doesn't start in week 8, right, at that point. So I'm with you on that. He starts from day number 1. I don't think you pull him in week number 5 if he's struggling, because otherwise you do way more damage than you can begin. And Peyton's a good coach. He's done good things with quarterbacks in the past. I think he gets over that as well.
Russ wasn't prolific last year, 3,070 yards, still well over that number, and he only threw for more than 250 3 times, more than 300 twice very early in the year. Hall of Fame game preview now. Live right here on the early line on SportsGrid. It is the eve of August. It is the eve of football. Let me just tell you this. August 1st comes around tomorrow, the start of this show. I might shed a tear. I'm going to be so fired up because August 1st means a couple of things. First, in the National Football League, it is our first NFL preseason game of 2024, the Hall of Fame game in Kenton, Ohio, between the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans. In August also means a month in which college football is going to be played. August 24th, that is week 0. Come on, DRS. We absolutely love it. The Hall of Fame game tomorrow in Canton between the Bears and the Texans. And some news for Chicago yesterday. The extension of wide receiver DJ Moore about to enter year number 2 with this Bears franchise. 4-year deal worth $110 million, $82.6 million guaranteed, only trailing A.J. Brown and the big money of Justin Jefferson. 3rd most guaranteed money for a wide receiver currently in the National Football League. That also the richest extension the Chicago Bears have ever given out in franchise history.
Bears spending some money, making some shrewd moves. The vibes are high in the Windy City. Imagine this, a wide receiver in the middle of his prime wanting a new contract and getting a new contract before the season starts to make everybody in that locker room happy. Couldn't be the Cincinnati Bengals at this point. So that's where I go immediately. When I see wide receivers get paid, I just go, ha, Cincinnati, we're fading you all season long. That's how I'm doing it.
Oh, okay, DRS. I like the internalization for Cincinnati there, but for Chicago, a prudent move financially. It's what we talk about all the time, right? DJ Moore was still under contract for this year and the following year, but you do the extension early to not only keep him with the franchise, keep him happy, reward him for a great opening season in Chicago when you've got a bright and promising future with a new rookie quarterback in the face of the franchise in Caleb Williams. You want everybody pulling on the same rope, and you can average out a very rich contract for the extension over the final 2 years of his current deal and make it make financial sense along the way. We'll talk about Bears franchise history in just a moment, but Caleb Williams is not going to play tomorrow. It is confirmed in the Hall of Fame game. He was asked earlier this week, and he said, I want to, but I trust whatever the decision the coaches are making. Do you agree, DRS, that Caleb Williams should not be playing in the Hall of Fame game?
Well, I always think rookies should play to sort of, get their feet wet in the NFL and go through that game day, putting on the uniform, getting ready, anticipation. I always think that's something. But sometimes people are short-sighted in this because when you see that Caleb Williams isn't going to play, if he does play, that doesn't mean he just gets reps. That means the entire starting offense, offensive linemen, tight ends, wide receivers, and running backs must all play with them because you're not sending your superstar rookie out there with fifth-string guys that are going to be, selling insurance in 2 weeks at this point. You need everybody in alignment here, and that's why the starters don't play. If one doesn't play, particularly your quarterback, look, that sends the domino down. He is going to play in the preseason. Otherwise, that would be ludicrous. But I just think the Bears are saying, look, I'm not sending my starting line out there to go with him just to have a series here. We'll get to that at a later time. I don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't really either, right? I think you could look at it from a glass half full or a glass half empty approach. Anytime you put the face of the franchise out there for a meaningless exhibition game, despite its significance in Canton, and he has a risk of injury, that is always something that you are going to proceed with caution. And it's not like he is going to miss out on one of the preseason games for Chicago. Both the Texans and the Bears will play 3 more preseason games after this exhibition that is the Hall of Fame game. So he's got plenty of time to get his feet wet in the National Football League, albeit in preseason. Really good point as well, Donnie. You're not going to put Caleb Williams out there with the reserves. He is not going to throw the football to at any point throughout this season, despite the fact that he is just a rookie. We'll have plenty more Hall of Fame handicaps in coming tomorrow in our show. But let's take an early look at the line here. A 1.5-point spread in favor of the Texans, the over-under 31.5. So it is going to be the Davis Mills show on one side for Houston against Tyson Bagent and the boys on the other side for Chicago. We're not going to see C.J. Stroud. We're not going to see many of the starters and the significant players for either of these two teams tomorrow.
Yes, and again, what we're looking forward to most is to see how this kickoff rule is going to take place in the NFL.
True.
And can it lead to more scoring. But you're always going to see those high 20s, low 30 price numbers here on these early preseason games because the goal for the NFL teams used to be, let's get the guys in shape. The goal is now can we just keep this clock running and get out of here without any injuries, any backups? That's the way it is.